Welcome to the course Bioprocess Engineering. Before starting our discussions for today's content, let's have a short recap of the previous class. In the last class, we have discussed about the various thermodynamic principles that governs the stoichiometric equations of various bioprocesses, starting with the material balance, elemental balance, and the energy balance. And also, we have seen in a brief about the three different types of products that are being formed in the bioprocess. When the microorganism is inoculated into a reactor, a rapid decrease in substrate concentration occurs with an increase in biomass and the product formation. The rate at which the substrate concentration decreases and the rate at which the product concentration increases apparently determines the yield of a given reactor. Substrate is utilized by the microorganisms for regulating various metabolic activities via anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism is a process in which building up of molecule occurs, wherein catabolism is a process where the complex molecules are broken down into simple substances, wherein both anabolism and catabolism are the processes which are regulated by the usage of ATP molecules, which are nothing but the energy resource of the cell. In today's class, we are going to discuss in detail about the maintenance cost, maintenance coefficient, kinetics of growth and product formation, and different types of products that are being produced in the bioprocess.
At the end of today's class, you will be able to determine the process yield of the given bioprocess using different specific rates. Today's lecture session will be giving us more insights into cellular maintenance, specific rate of various fermentation schemes, and the kinetics in three types of microbial product formation. First, let us discuss in detail the specific rate of substrate uptake for cellular maintenance. The growth kinetics of the given cell can be described using stoichiometric parameters such as material balance, elemental balance, and energy balance. The yield factors can be defined based on the amount of consumption of another material. The growth yield factor in a fermentation process can be better expressed in terms of specific growth rate, biomass concentration, and the rate of substrate utilization, where μg is the specific growth rate of the cells and x is the biomass concentration and rs is the rate of substrate utilization. The negative sign implies that the substrate concentration decreases over a period of time. The yield coefficient can also be represented as change in biomass concentration to the change in substrate concentration, wherein the substrate change is the total substrate consumption and the biomass change is the total or net change. The y of x by s is called as apparent growth yield, but in any given biochemical reactions, the substrate may be consumed due to more than one purpose, as quantum of substrate will be used for conversion to biomass, a part of the substrate will be used for growth energy, and a part will be used for maintenance energy, and a proportionate quantity of the substrate will be used for conversion to extracellular products. The maintenance needs, however, are required whether the cell is growing or simply staying functional or viable, although they can be growth rate dependent in certain cases. Conversion to extracellular products may not be directly related to the cell biomass growth, although it is at least related to maintenance needs. The yield growth factor is not a factor that can be determined simply by examining the overall biomass yield and substrate consumption. The amount of substrate that is being used for maintenance needs has to be determined in order to validate the growth yield from the given process. Cell metabolism is a complex process and it requires a major attention in order to determine the growth kinetics. Cell growth associated internal cell functions are not easily measurable, but they play an important role in kinetic behavior of the cell. In order to harness the free energy produced by catabolic process in terms of high energy phosphate bonds in the form of ATP for subsequent use in the biosynthesis of biomass constituents in the anabolism, the cellular content of ATP must be controlled rigorously. As the turnover time of ATP is low, there must be a tight balancing of energy forming reactions and the energy utilizing reactions inside the cell in analogy to the tight balancing of synthesis and consumption of ATP. The cell needs to balance the synthesis and consumption of the cofactors such as NADH or NADPH, which have a very small turnover time. Consequently, the cell must exercise a strict control of the level of these compounds. The balance for ATP, NADH and NADPH are used to relate the fluxes through different parts of the metabolic network. However, in order to apply the ATP balance, it is important that all ATP forming and consuming reactions are considered in the stoichiometric analysis. One group of energy consuming process inside a cell, namely maintenance process, is especially important as it is a net energy drain without an apparent benefit to the system. Cell maintenance is the consumption of a key substrate under consideration to maintain the desired functionality of the cell in addition to the stoichiometrically quantifiable desired outcome such as cell growth and product formation. The balance of ATP, NADH and NADPH requires maintenance energy. Endogenous metabolism refers to metabolic needs of a cell to stay viable either by consuming nutrients in the medium when available or by converting intracellular materials during starvations. The cell maintenance is a growth dependent process, whereas endogenous metabolism is a growth independent process. This cell maintenance and the endogenous metabolic needs have to be considered in designing the kinetics of the process. The endogenous metabolism results in a decrease of the amount of biomass. The endogenous metabolism results in the decrease of amount of biomass and the restitution of the degraded biomass requires substrate, and the total substrate consumption can be represented in terms of yield factor and the specific growth rate and the biomass concentration. In the above equation, there are two contributions to the substrate utilization. One is directly proportional to the observed net specific growth rate, that is a growth associated part, and the another term that counteracts the continuous degradation of the cell mass due to endogenous metabolism. The yield factor specifies the yield in the conversion of substrate into biomass. The above equation can be rewritten in terms of whereas the empirical constant Ms is called as the maintenance coefficient. In any given process, the maintenance requirements and the endogenous needs are different. We need to simplify the metabolic system by equating the maintenance and the endogenous needs. The maintenance coefficient can be related to the specific rate of substrate uptake for cellular maintenance via yield factor and the death rate constant. Maintenance coefficient is an important parameter in fermentation process and has a great influence on biomass and product yield. The primary method for the determination of maintenance coefficient can be obtained through the linear relationship using the growth dependent and growth independent parameters. To get an accurate result of maintenance coefficient, the rate should be precisely measured in a wide range. However, the true substrate consumption rate for maintenance process may be a function of specific growth rate when both cell maintenance requirements and endogenous metabolic needs are considered. A linear relation between the total or true maintenance coefficient and the cell growth can be obtained through the flux balance analysis. With sufficient knowledge on cellular maintenance and endogenous metabolism, let us proceed our discussions to specific rates of various fermentation schemes. Cellular maintenance represents energy expenditure to repair damaged cellular components, to transfer some nutrients and products in and out of the cell for motility, and to adjust the osmolarity of the cell's interior volume. Utilization of energy and consequently substrate in all the process involved with the cell growth is a function of specific growth rate. When the specific growth rate is high, there is a high turnover of macromolecules with increasing activity in the cell. With a higher flux through the cellular pathways, there is a higher loss of energy due to hydrolysis of high energy phosphate such as ATP. At a low specific growth rate, the substrates will be utilized efficiently. The energy expenditure in maintenance process is therefore likely to be an increasing function of specific growth rate. The ATP requirement for biomass synthesis can be obtained in terms of yield factor and maintenance coefficient as where RATP specifies the total formation rate of ATP in catabolic pathways. From precise measurements of the metabolic products of the anaerobic metabolism, it is possible to calculate the specific formation rate of ATP. In aerobic processes, a major part of ATP formation originates in the respiration, and the yield of ATP in the process is given by phosphate to oxygen ratio. The growth rate of the microbial cell can be mathematically described, wherein the microbial growth rate can be related to the concentration of the limiting nutrient as denoted by Cs, wherein μmax or μm is the maximum growth rate when the substrate concentration is greater than Ks. Ks is the saturation constant, which is a concentration of the rate limiting substrate when the specific rate of growth is equal to 1/2 of the momentum. The maximum growth rate of the microorganism and the saturation constant can be determined by plotting a graph between growth rate and the substrate utilization rate of the given microorganism in the reactor. Instead of focusing on simple empirical correlations of cell maintenance with cell growth rate, we next examine the cell maintenance from a more mechanistic point of view. As we have learned that the monad equation is an approximated growth rate from the complicated metabolic pathways. The same approximation can be applied to be based on a key intermediate such as an ATP molecule rather than the substrate from the environment. Let us denote this key intermediate as Y, the specific cell growth rate that can be approximated by μg is equal to Rx by X, which can be rewritten as μmax into Y by Kyg plus Y, while Y is the intermediate for cells to add mass to grow. It is consumed to maintain the cells active. The maintenance cost of the intermediate Y can be assumed to be in a fashion similar to any other bioreactions. In other words, the maintenance or endogenous metabolism cost can be approximated by μe is equal to Re by X, which can also be rewritten in terms of Monod's model as mu Emax into Y by Kye plus Y, where the saturation constant Kye need not to be identical to the saturation constant Ky in the cell growth rate. Kye may not be exactly 0 either, for which a cost maintenance coefficient always prevails. There are two ways to express the cell maintenance cost, either to the cell growth rate or to the substrate availability. The equation can also be rewritten in terms of substrate concentration as mu E is equal to Re by X, which is written in terms of substrate concentration as mu E max into S by Ksc plus S. Approximating the cell maintenance, and that the above equation can be rewritten in terms of mu E as, where further the equation can be simplified as mu E is equal to mu E mu max into mu G by Ke mu plus mu G in correlation with the Monod's mathematical model for expressing the cell growth rate. Finally, in the third part of the class, we are going to discuss the kinetics of microbial product formation. When the viable cells are inoculated into a fresh medium, the growth pattern can be observed in 5 different phases. First one being the lag phase. Second phase is the logarithmic or exponential phase. Third one is the deceleration phase. Fourth being the stationary phase. And fifth phase is the dead phase. Based on the phase in which the product formation starts, the products can be broadly classified into three major categories. First one, growth associated products, which are produced simultaneously with the microbial growth. Second is the non-growth associated products, where the product formation takes place during the stationary phase when the growth rate is 0. Third, mixed growth products, where the product formation takes place during the slow growth and the stationary phase. In today's class, we will discuss in detail the rate at which gluconic acid, penicillin G, and lactic acid are produced in the given bioprocesses. In the case of growth associated product formation, the specific rate of product formation is directly proportional to the specific rate of growth, whereas in the non-growth associated product formation, the specific rate of product formation is a constant denoted as beta, whereas in the third category, mixed growth associated product formation, the specific rate of product formation is denoted in terms of alpha, mu and beta. If alpha is equal to 0, the product is only non-growth associated, and if beta is equal to 0, the product would be only growth associated, and consequently alpha would be always equal to y of p by x. Gluconic acid is primarily used in dishwashing reagents, where its ability to chelate metal ions is important in reducing streaking of glasswares. The production of gluconic acid by Gluconobacter can be a suitable example to study the growth and product formation kinetics. Gluconic acid is formed by the microbial oxidation of glucose to glucose del lactone and the subsequent hydrolysis of this intermediate to gluconic acid. The rate of growth of the cells is governed by Monod's kinetics, which represents Rx is equal to mu max into Sx by Ks plus x. The formation of the intermediate gluconodelactone occurs via a growth associated mechanism, although the value of Monod constant is assumed to be different to the constant Ks describing cell growth, which is represented as RL equal to alpha into mu max into S into x by Ks dash plus S. The product gluconic acid is formed by the first order hydrolysis of the lactone L, wherein the rate of product formation is given by Rp is equal to Kl into L, wherein glucose is consumed for growth and for the production of lactic acid. Here, the yield coefficient for cell growth and product formation from substrate can be written for the batch reactor as dx by dt is equal to mu max into S into x by Ks plus x, and the rate of formation of the intermediate is given by alpha into S into x by Ks dash plus S minus Kl into L, and the rate of substrate utilization can be written in terms of yield coefficient for biomass production and the intermediate formation. The concentration of lactone thus shows an initial increase, then reaches a maximum and decreases as gluconic acid is formed. The rate of lactone formation is initially faster than the. Next, let us discuss in detail the rate at which penicillin G is produced. Penicillin was the first antibiotic to be produced in submerged fermentation during the Second World War. The penicillin production can be considered to be non-growth associated as a first approximation. The production of penicillin occurs after the phase of rapid growth of the fungus Penicillium chrysogenum. The production of penicillin is regulated by two key enzymes. One is an enzyme which activates phenylacetic acid, which forms the side chain of penicillin, and the other is penicillin acetyltransferase, which attaches activated phenylacetate to 6-aminopenicillinic acid and providing the penicillin nucleus. Penicillin production is subject to catabolic repression. A typical time course of penicillin production is shown in figure. After the period of exponential growth rate on lactose, glucose is slowly fed to the culture and penicillin production increases from 20 to 140 hours. The specific rate of penicillin biosynthesis as a function of specific growth rate is given here. Kinetics of lactic acid production by lactobacillus is a best example of product formation kinetics that are intermediate between growth and non-growth associated. Lactic acid is an important product arising from the anaerobic fermentation of sugars such as glucose and lactose. It is mainly used as sterile to lactolate, a Duff conditioner, and in polymer form as polylactic acid for biodegradable sutures. Although the anaerobic conversion of glucose to lactic acid is a direct route of energy production, the production kinetics are not solely growth associated. The relationship between the rate of lactic acid production, substrate consumption, biomass production, and the specific growth rate of lactobacillus is given here, wherein we can observe that the product formation rate is independent of substrate utilization. In today's class, we have discussed in detail the importance of maintenance energy and cellular maintenance for rapid growth of the cell and the methods to calculate the maintenance coefficient and determine the characteristics of microbial products. In brief, we have studied in detail the kinetics of product formation from the given biomass through growth associated products, non-growth associated products, and mixed growth associated products. The reference books for today's content are Bioprocess Engineering Basic Concepts by Schuler and Kagi, Principles of Fermentation Technology by Stanbury, and the technical paper published in Bioprocess and Biosystems Engineering by GUM.
To summarize, in today's class, we discussed in detail about the apparent yield factor, yield coefficient, the rate at which the substrate is being utilized for the bioprocess, and the kinetics involved in the formation of 3 different types of products. Thank you.